What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sippi and Shannon Show, episode 5. The two teams we'll be doing today, I'll be doing the SEC, and Sippi will be doing the Conference USA as usual. I'll be doing Ole Miss and South Carolina, and Sippi will be doing UAB and UTEP. So yeah, we haven't had a show in a while, in a few weeks. Sippi and me both have been busy. Sippi and I have both been busy, and but we're back, and we're gonna be doing it on my channel this week, and without further ado, can't have the show without Sippi. Has his name in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and add Sippi into the stream.
My man, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much. How about you?
Oh, just hanging out.
Yeah, basically me too. But I'm gonna go ahead and I usually start the show with my two teams. So my first team will be Ole Miss. Without further ado, Sippi, you ready to get this stream going?
You dang straight.
All right. I'm gonna open it up with Ole Miss 2020 football schedule. First game of the year versus Florida at home. They lose to them 51-35, 0-1 on the season. Next game at Kentucky, they beat Kentucky by 1 point, 42-41. 1-1 on the season now. So the next game versus Alabama, this is a shootout type game. 63-48, they fall to Alabama, and I really thought, for a while there, I thought they were going to beat Alabama. I really did. Then, as usual, Alabama did pull away and get the win there. So Ole Miss is now 1-2 at Arkansas. This is a game they need to win, and they lose 33-21 to Arkansas on the road. 1-3, 1-3 on the season. So next game versus Auburn. It's another game they need to win. They lose this one 35-28. So now Sippi, they're 1-4 on the season. Geez, this is a really bad start for the first 5 games for Ole Miss. But then they get a few bounce back games at Vanderbilt. They beat Vanderbilt 54-21, 2-4 on the season. Then they get a week off. Next game, South Carolina at home. They beat South Carolina 59-42. They're 3-4 on the season. South Carolina will also be my second team I'm gonna be doing today. Then they get another week off. Then they play Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. They beat Mississippi State 31-24. So that's 3 straight games they won. 4-4. Then they get another week off. And then they had to play at Texas A&M. This game did get canceled. So the next game will be at LSU, where they lose to LSU 53-45. So that makes them 4-5 on the season. But they do get a bowl. 4-5. They get a bowl, Outback Bowl in this is in Tampa, Florida. They play Indiana in the Outback Bowl. They beat Indiana 26-20 and finish the season 5-5. So 5-5, just like LSU finished. So not a bad way to end it. With only starting off 1-4, and then only losing one game since then. They finished 5-5, and I consider that a pretty good season, especially beating number 7 Indiana in the Outback Bowl. So that is 2020 Ole Miss schedule. We're gonna go ahead and jump to the 2021 schedule real fast. First game of the season, we're gonna be playing Louisville and Atlanta, Georgia. First game of the season, this would be I guess this would be the Chick-fil-A kickoff game or something like that. Whatever they name it, first game of the year. I have them beating Louisville 28-17, so that would make them 1-0 on the season. Next game would be Austin Peay. I have them beating them 46-14, so that makes them 2-0 on the season. Then they're gonna play Tulane. This first 3 game. This game is at home. I have them beating Tulane 42-7, so that makes them 3-0 on the 3-0 on the season. Then
Come
they have a
on.
week off. Yep, and then they have a week off. Then they play at Alabama. Have them losing to Alabama 42-36. I'll have Alabama winning that game. So that makes them 3-1 on the season. Then they play Arkansas from a revenge game. Hopefully they can get the revenge on them this year. Have them beating Arkansas 37-14. So that makes them 4-1 on the season. Next game at Tennessee. I have them beating Tennessee 40-25. Okay. So now 5-1 on the season. Next game, LSU at home. I have them beating LSU 27-21. So 6-1 on the season. Really good start. Only losing one game to a really good Alabama team, which I had predicted them going 12-0 at Alabama too. Next game at Auburn, I have them losing to Auburn 34-31 in a close one. This game, I can go ahead and tell you, this game is going to be good either way. At Jordan Hare, really good. A really good Ole Miss team. But I had them losing this game, so that makes them 6-2 on the season. Next game, this is a really interesting game. Liberty. I don't know if you remember Sippi. Hugh Freeze used to coach at Ole Miss, but now he coaches at Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to come back to Oxford to play Ole Miss. I had them beating Liberty 31-16, so that would make them 7-2 on the season. Next game would be Texas A&M. Remember this game got canceled in 2020, and have been beating Texas A&M at home 34-23. So that makes them 8-2 on the season. Uh, Next game, Vanderbilt at home. Have them beating Vanderbilt 43-17, 9-2 on the season. Then they're gonna play at Mississippi State, which again, most people are gonna think they're gonna finish 10-2. They're gonna beat Mississippi State. I have the upset. I have Mississippi State beating Ole Miss 27-23 and closing out the season with a loss in the Egg Bowl. So 9-3. I have the Ole Miss finishing. Sippi, what are your thoughts? Do you have them beating Mississippi State? Do you have them going 10-2 or falling to LSU, or what do you have
I
them
actually, I actually have, and this is a big shocker probably, but I actually have Ole Miss losing to Liberty. I have Hugh Freeze coming in there with Malik Willis, and I think Liberty's going to knock off Ole Miss.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
I really do.
That would be crazy.
But I do have them losing to Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everything else on there sounded pretty good. But I do think Liberty's going to go in there and beat them. I don't know why. I think it'll be like a personal game with Hugh Freeze,
Yeah, that would be crazy if that happened. Losing to Liberty, after the whole Hugh Freeze thing happened, that'll definitely be crazy. But that wraps up Ole Miss 2021 and 2020. Sippi, your first team is UAB, I do believe.
Oh, yeah.
You want to jump to that?
The Conference USA champions from last year. They went 6-3. UAB, the program that stopped their football program, and now they're back up and running, and they just won a conference championship after not even having a football program, a couple years ago. But last season, 6-3, they went 1-3 in the conference. They started out against University of Central Arkansas. They won that game 45-35. Then they went down to Miami. They lost that game 31-14. Then they beat South Alabama 42-10 in Mobile. UAB waxed them down there, and that's kind of becoming a little rivalry. Both them Alabama teams, going back and forth, trading blows. But then they win against UTSA, the Roadrunners, who is a very good football team this season in 2021 coming up. But they beat UTSA 21-13. Then they lost to Lafayette, Louisiana, who, they just balled out last year. But they lost that game 37-34 in double overtime. Very close game. Should have won the game, but they did lose it to Lafayette, Louisiana. Then they beat Rice at Rice 21-16. They beat Marshall at Marshall in the conference championship 22-13. Whenever Marshall was the huge favorite, UAB was the huge underdog, and they went over there to Marshall in the conference championship and beat them. And then their bowl game against South Carolina was canceled due to COVID. So 6-3, had a great season last year, but I do not. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out for them this season. I think COVID helped them out in that Marshall game, and the reason I say that is because Marshall had a lot of guys out with COVID in the bowl game. Same with Rice, and same with Western Kentucky. Same with you. A lot of the games they won had a little bit to do with some COVID issues on the other team. If you wanted to use that as an excuse, but anyways, going into this season, they open up against Jacksonville State in Montgomery, Alabama. Then they have them winning that game. Then they go to Georgia, and I have them winning this game. No, I'm just playing. I have them losing this game to Georgia. Then they go at North Texas. I think they're going to win this game. They're going to lose in New Orleans against Tulane. They're going to lose against Liberty at home. They're going to beat FAU. They're going to beat Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. They're going to beat Rice at home. They're going to beat Louisiana Tech at home. They're going to beat Marshall on the road again. They're going to lose to UTSA on the road, and they're going to beat UTEP. And I got them going 8-4 on the season. And I do have that going out there to UTSA. Like I said, I think UTSA is going to be a very good football team this season, and look for that game. I mean, that's a game you definitely want to circle if you want to watch a good football game. Same with the at Marshall game. Marshall's going to be looking for some revenge. I just don't know if they're going to get it. They're going to have Marshall's got a new coach over there, so who knows? But that's all I got for old UAB, man.
Did you say UAB here?
What's that?
Does UAB have a new coach this year? You said.
No, they still have Bill Clark.
Okay.
Marshall has a new head coach.
Yeah, I knew that, but I wasn't sure if you said UAB. But no, thank you, Sippi, for doing UAB. Spot on. I have them also probably going about 8-4, about in that range. But my next team is I'm gonna do is South Carolina. I'm gonna run through the 2020 football schedule. So the first game of the season in 2020 was Tennessee at home. They lose to Tennessee 31-27 in a game that I really thought they were gonna win. But Tennessee also they started off 2-0 on the season. Including one of those games beating South Carolina, first game of the year. So they're now 0-1 on the season. Next game at Florida, they lose to Florida 38-24, 0-2 on the season. Next game at Vanderbilt, they beat Vanderbilt 41-7 in a blowout win. 1-2 on the season. Next game, Auburn at home. This is an upset game, okay? They beat Auburn 30-22. They're now 2-2 on the season. Next game at LSU, they lose to LSU 52-24. Now 2-3 on the season. Then they get a week off. Then they play Texas A&M at home. They lose to Texas A&M. Listen to this score, Sippi, 48-3. They lose to Texas A&M. 2-4 on the season. At Ole Miss, they lose to Ole Miss 59-42. Now 2-5 on the season. Versus Missouri at home, they lose to Missouri 17-10, 2-6. Next game versus Georgia, they lose to Georgia 45-16, 2-7. Then they finish off at Kentucky in a game that they lose 41-18. Their final record is 2-8 on the season. Like you said, they're supposed to play UAB in the Gasparilla Bowl, but that got canceled. So they finished 2-8 on the season. Just a really tough break, and they fired Will Muschamp after that season. And no, I think that was a good move too. And that's just they lose. I mean, they win 2 in a row. Vanderbilt and Auburn, their third and fourth game of the year, and then beyond that, they just lose out. You know. So I'm going to go to the South Carolina 2021 football schedule. First game of the year in 2021, Eastern Illinois. I have them beating Eastern Illinois 36-10, so that'll make them 1-0 on the season. Next game at East Carolina, I have them beating East Carolina 30-17, 2-0 on the season. I think that was pretty cool to add that in there. East Carolina on the road. Next game I have at Georgia, I have them losing to Georgia 42-17. That'll make them 2-1 on the season. Kentucky at home, I have them losing to Kentucky 35-24. That'll make them 2-2 on the season. Next game, Troy. I have them beating Troy 35-14, 3-2 on the season. Next game at Tennessee, I have them beating Tennessee 42-27. So now 4-2. First year is under Shane Beamer, 4-2. He has them starting off first 6 games of the year. Next game, Vanderbilt. I have them losing to Vanderbilt in an upset game. Vanderbilt that they desperately need.
That would be awesome, dude, if they could start off 4-2.
Yeah, 4-2.
I mean, I could imagine Carolina Jackpot and the gang over there on YouTube. They'd be going crazy.
Oh, and also shout out to Carolina Jackpot too. I forgot about that. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, I have Vanderbilt upsetting South Carolina 28-20 in a game where most of the time Vanderbilt's like a easy pass game. You know what I mean? Like most of these schedules I have Vanderbilt on them. I have them beating Vanderbilt. Most teams I have,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know. But not this one. I have Vanderbilt upsetting South Carolina 28-20, 4-3 on the season as South Carolina. Next game at Texas A&M. I have them beating Texas A&M 27-21 in an upset game. They beat Texas A&M on the road too. 5-3 on the season. At Missouri, I have them losing to Missouri 31-23. So just a tough loss there. 5-4. I have them now. Next game would be Florida. I have them losing to Florida 31-14. So now 5-5. Then I have them playing Auburn. I have them losing to Auburn 34-24, 5-6 on the season. Then Clemson to finish it off. I have them beating Clemson. I'm just kidding. I have them losing to Clemson 46-17, so that'll make them 5-7 to finish off the season.
And they don't even get bowl eligibility.
Nope, and it does sting.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think Carolina jackpot. I think his jackpot just ran out, huh?
I like that. Oh, that's good stuff, man. I like that though. I do wish that they could somehow find a way to get 6 wins and Shane Beamer in his first season. But I think you're right. I think it'll be a little bit like the same as the normal. But with 5 wins his first year. That's a win. I'll
Mm-hmm.
take that as a South Carolina fan.
But yeah, that wraps up South Carolina 2020-2021. Sippi's next team is UTEP. Is that right?
Oh yeah, one of the worst teams in all of football. UTEP, the UTEP Miners out there in El Paso. Last season they went 3-5, and
All
at
the way
one,
out in El Paso too.
oh yeah, and at one point, they went 3-5 last season. At one point they were 3-1, and everyone was talking about UTEP because UTEP ain't started that good and never. You know what I mean? Well, SF Austin was their first game last season. They barely won that game, 24-14. FF Stephen F. Austin, let's just say it, is a good team in their own division. I don't think UTEP was supposed to let this be a hang around game, but they did. They only won by 10 points. Then they played at Texas. They got slaughtered 59-3. Then they played Abilene Christian, another lesser team that's in another division. They beat them 17-13. Not a good victory there. But nevertheless, they're 2-1. And then they played at Louisiana Monroe, another very bad football team. But nevertheless, they played on the road and won this game, 31-6. And I'm telling you right now, any team that holds any team in Division I football to 6 points, that's good defense. Or at least it was that day, right? So they're 3-1 going into conference play, and they lose every single doggone conference game they had. They started with Louisiana Tech. They lost 21-17. They went out to Charlotte. They lost 38-28. They played at UTSA. They lost 52-21. They played at North Texas. They lost there 45-43. But in the off season, they have got a Kansas State transfer quarterback coming in. They got a Kansas State cornerback coming in. They got a quarterback from Northeast Mississippi Community College coming in that was a 2-star quarterback at the Mississippi Junior College level, 6'4", 230-pound quarterback that's coming into UTEP from Mississippi Junior College. So I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know if the K-State quarterback is going to start, or if they already got someone on the team that they think can start at quarterback. But it does sound very similar to what Southern Miss did we already had Trey Lowe. We went and got a transfer quarterback, and then we signed a freshman. They went out and got a transfer quarterback, and they went to the junior college ranks and got them a sophomore or a junior at least. So I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. With grabbing a bunch of quarterbacks and putting them in the room, that can only help the UTEP Miners get better, and I think it will a little bit. In 2021, they open up at New Mexico State. They're going to win that game. Then they play Bethune-Cookman at home. They're going to win that game. Then they play at Boise State. They're going to lose this game, and I mean bad. Then they play at home against New Mexico. They're going to win that game. They open up conference play against Old Dominion, who did not play football last year because of COVID, and they just said we're going to wait till the next season. They won that game because they're going to win this game this year. So hear me out. UTEP is going to start the season 4-1, very similar to what they did last season when they went 3-1. This year they're going to start 4-1, and everybody going to be talking about them again, and I mean everybody. Then they're going to go to Southern Miss and get their first loss. Southern Miss is going to beat the dog snot out of them. Then they play Louisiana Tech. They're going to lose that game. They play at Florida Atlantic. They're going to lose that game. They play University of Texas San Antonio, UTSA. They're going to lose that game. They play at North Texas. They're going to lose this game. They play Rice. They're going to lose this game. They play at UAB. Guess what, Shannon?
Hmm.
They're going to lose this game. They're going to go 4-8 on the season, 1-7 in conference play, and I will say that they'll get one more win than they did last year. How about that?
What was the conference win that you have them winning?
What's that?
What's the only conference game you have them winning?
Old Dominion, the team that didn't play last year.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's a toss-up.
Yeah, probably. 3-9, 4-8. Yeah, but that's like you said. You're not that really good. UTEP. Is that what you said?
No, they're not very good.
And I thought about this. You said they're all the way out in El Paso.
Right.
I'm wondering if you have to go to UTEP. Like, do you take a bus all the way out there? I'm sure not.
No, they fly them.
Okay. I was about to say, there's no way you could take a bus all the way out to El Paso.
Shoot, I hope not. Now, if you're like, no, I would think even the Texas schools in Houston and around that area, I feel like they would still fly because it's so far.
Or UTSA, you'll have to bus there.
No. UTSA probably buses, yeah.
Yeah, but that's rough too.
Yeah, that's about a 6 or 7 hour ride right there.
Well, it's like well, yeah, probably about it's 4.5 for me, I think, to San Antonio, probably about 3.5 to Houston.
Come on, man, you went out to El Paso?
No, I'm saying it's about 4 hours to Houston from me, so it's probably about another 5.5 for to San Antonio.
Yeah. Oh, to San Antonio, then it's probably 6 to. It's like 16 or 18 hours from where I live to Texas, to El Paso. My dad lives out there, and I've actually driven out there a couple times the whole way, and yeah, man, it's a long. We always get a room somewhere, halfway, and then
The further,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
I said the farthest west I've been, Houston.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, been there like many times.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, what you think about what'd you think about UTEP, man? What you think about what I got them?
I don't know much about UTEP to be honest, but I'll just go ahead and say my prediction. I have them going 3-9. I have them losing to. I think they'll beat Old Dominion. I think they'll get a win in the Conference USA, but I have them losing to somebody else that you have them winning to, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Southern Miss.
No, I had them beating Southern Miss. I mean, losing to Southern Miss.
Okay, I was about to argue with you.
No.
What was I going to say? Oh, I do want to mention that I didn't mention this before, but UAB, man, they could very well go 10-2 or 9-3. They got a running back coming in from Mississippi State. They got a defensive lineman from LSU, Justin Thomas. They got a linebacker from West Virginia, a defensive end from Indiana, a wide receiver from Penn State, quarterback Damon Stewart. He's supposed to be very good. My goodness, just the schools that I named right then. I mean, they went and loaded up.
Yeah, they got a lot of sounds like a lot of Power 5 talent coming in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for the UAB Blazers. So, like I said, I got them going 8-4. I got them going 6-1 in conference, only losing to UTSA. And to be fair, that's a toss-up game. And a lot of people would say, no, they're only going to lose to Marshall. You see what I mean? And
Mhm.
I could see that too. That's a toss-up game to me as well. So, like I said, 10-2 at best, and that's with them beating Liberty, Tulane. I mean, they could actually, hell, they could think about this now. They could win. They could win all these games on this schedule except for Georgia and go 11-1.
Well,
They really could.
anything's possible. They could upset Georgia.
I don't see that happen.
Well, I don't either, but I was just messing around.
But I could definitely see. I could definitely see 8-4. I can definitely see 9-2. 9-3. But 10-2, 11-1 for any Conference USA team, that's hard to find.
Yeah. What is that? Will that wrap up UAB and UTEP for you, Sippi?
That's it.
Is that it?
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you for all of y'all watching, including Sippy's Sports Show. Uh, thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining Sippy. Great job today. That's gonna wrap it up for this show. Hope to see y'all all of y'all next time. And I think episode 6 will also be on my channel. And Sippy, I think you have a show tonight, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do some kind of live show tonight to kick back a little kickback like we usually do. Y'all go like and subscribe to Shannon, his new channel that we've been live streaming on. Make sure y'all go plug that. Go subscribe over to my channel as well. Yeah, just stay in touch with us. We're on Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the place.
Yeah. And that'll wrap up things for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.